I am M. Saurathi Pragadish. Today I am going to share a presentation on the topic of rent-free accommodation. In income tax, most of them are confused with the topic of rent-free accommodation and house rent allowance. So there are the meaning of both are totally different. Before seeing the difference between this both rent-free accommodation and house rent allowance, first of all we see what is mean by rent-free accommodation. Rent-free accommodation. RFA means house provided by the employer to its employee for residential purpose, and the tax treatment of rent-free accommodation varies for government and other employees. It means a employer will get house for its residential purpose from its respective companies, and for the tax for rent-free accommodation are different from government employee and non-government employee. So now we can see the difference between house rent allowance and rent-free accommodation. So first of all, what is house rent allowance? It is allowance given by the employer to its employee for meeting the house rent expenditure. So in this, the employee will get some percentage of amount from their employer to meet his house expenditures. But in case of rent-free accommodation, it is a purchases which a employer get totally for his accommodation from the employer. So salary purpose of house rent allowance calculation includes, for calculating house rent allowance, the salary means it includes basic salary and dearness allowance. That also in dearness allowance it should be a part of salary, and commission, that also commission or fixed percentage on turnover. But in case of rent-free accommodation, the salary includes basic salary, DA in terms of retirement benefit, bonus, commission, and other all taxable income allowances. So the salary for both are also different. And then the next difference between taxability for house rent allowance depending on the following factors. They are house rent allowance, actual house rent allowance he received, actual rent paid, and salary computed for the purpose of house rent allowance. These three are the following factors which depends on HRA. Taxability of rent-free accommodation depends on the following factors. They are higher charges paid for the accommodation by the employer, salary computed for the purpose of RPF. So now we see the difference between house rent allowance and rent-free accommodation. Now we can see what is rent-free accommodation and how to calculate rent-free accommodation. To calculate the value of rent-free accommodation provided by the employer to its employee, there are some methods. The following aspect must be taken into consideration. The population of the city in which the rent-free accommodation is provided, that is first one, and second one is ownership of the property provided by to the employer, the nature of furniture which is used for in accommodation. These three are the factors for calculating the rent-free accommodation. So calculation of rent-free accommodation. First, for unfurnished accommodation. In unfurnished accommodation there are two things: government employee and other employee. For government employee, the house rent is fixed by the government. For other employee, the rent is fixed for on the base of population of the city where the employee is working. For other employees, if the population is less than or equal to 10 lakh, then he gets 7.5% of salary as allowance. And if the population is more than 10 lakh and less than or equal to 25 lakh, he gets 10% of the salary. And if the population exceeds to 25 lakhs, then he gets 15% of the salary as rent-free accommodation. In case the employee are working or are staying in a hotel, he gets 24% of salary or actual bill paid by him. Whichever is less is taxable. In case the house is hired by the employer, 15% of the salary or actual bill paid, whichever is less is taxable. In case if the accommodation is provided with furnished, then all type of employee calculated the value of furnished house includes two things. If the furniture is owned by the employer, then we should add 10% of the total furniture cost, or if the furniture are hired, actual higher charges are added to the taxability. Meaning for salary for rent-free accommodation, which includes basic salary, dearness allowance in terms of employment service, plus commission, plus bonus, plus fee, plus value of all taxable allowance, plus any other monetary benefit, plus leave encashment of salary and other taxable allowance. These all are included for salary. Now we can see a example sum to how to calculate a rent-free accommodation. Mr. Arun has furnished the following particulars: salary 25,000 per month and dearness allowance 5,000 per month. It enters into the pay of employment benefit. Then we should be include entertainment allowance 600 per month, bonus 16,000, and cost of furniture is 1,20,000. He is working in a private sector at Chandigarh, population below 10 lakh, and the rent of the house hired by the employer is 6,000 per month. He is also provided with hired refrigerator whose hire charges is 600 per month are paid by the employer. In this case, we should not take population method, because in this case the house is being hired by the employer. Then we should have before sale we see that if the house is hired by the employer, then we should took 15% of the salary or actual bill paid, whichever is less. How to calculate rent-free accommodation for the sum we seen before? First we need to add the salary. Salary means this 25,000 into 12 plus 5,000 into 12 plus entertainment allowance 600 into 12 plus bonus 16,000. Then we will get a value. In that value we need to calculate 15%. Then we would get 57,480, and the actual bill paid by the employer. The actual bill paid by the employer is 6,000 into 12. Then we would get 72,000. In this, whichever is less, we should be taken. In this, 57,480 is the least amount, and we should get that amount. Then we should calculate the furniture cost. In this, cost of furniture is 1,20,000. In this, we need to calculate 10%. Then we would get 12,000 as the answer, and we should also add that. Including that, in this question, in this case, they told that the employee gets hired refrigerator, that also which is paid by the employer as 600 per month. So 600 into 12, we could get 7,200, and finally adding 57,480 plus 12,000 plus 7,200, we would get 76,680. This is the taxable amount for the rent-free accommodation allowance the employee is getting, and he should pay it. So thank you for watching this video.